If I may, the message would be this. I know that this is not a good time for us as Armenians. We have been traumatized in multiple ways, uh, and many people could become desperate, uh, I mean, could simply say, there's nothing I can do. But that's not the case. That's not the
Mhm.
case. At the times like these, we need people to stand up and say their word. That word could be sending money to charity, volunteering for things, going to Armenia, supporting Armenians, uh, many, many ways. This is the time to show for every Armenian that we care. We care about Armenia, we care about motherland, we care about church, we care about Artsakh. That's what I want to say.
Welcome to Parev TV. We are joined by two, I call them institutions. One of them is Garnik Danagulian, the executive director of the Fund for Armenian Relief, and we all have heard and know and follow the works of Fund of Armenian Relief. And the other one, the other institution is master pianist Jahan Arzuni, who today will give him a different title, the chairman of the Vanadzor Old Age Home. And we'll learn more about this topic, which is today's topic, the Vanadzor Old Age Home. Garnig, let me jump into this discussion. We have followed the work so far for many, many years. It began after the earthquake, and so it's 30 plus years. And I don't know if you can capsule the highlights of this organization, maybe give us the reason for the success of this organization, and also tell us how you came to work with the Vanadzor Old Age Home.
Yeah, I've been with FAR for a little bit more than 16 years. It's hard to believe, but anyhow, that's the case.
Yeah.
And I can see how far, even on my watch, how far has been evolving in terms of being able to address the evolving needs of the people. The people who worked before me laid an incredible foundation of this organization. The founders and the people who started FAR really did a marvelous job. And the foundation that they laid keep producing and reproducing. I think one of the secrets, the most uh, important secret of this organization to be so vital and so in need, in demand in Armenia, it's the people who work for it. I'm talking about the members of the board of directors, the members of the board of trustees, but in addition to that, I'm talking about people who are in the fields, in Yerevan, in Tavush, in Gyumri, in Artsakh. These are the people for whom working for FAR, it's not like reporting to job from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. It's the mission of their life. And they are dedicated, committed. And that is become so obvious at the time of crisis when different people get tired, get, I mean, emotionally distressed or whatever, these people become energetic. They understand what to do. They are flexible. They are innovative. It's amazing. That's the most important strength of this organization. And of course, the people who trust and believe in FAR year after year, year after year, and there are many thousands of them. And we cherish that because these are the people who send out $10 out of their, I don't know, maybe social welfare that they receive. And of course, we have people who give much, much more. But the important thing that everyone in FAR friends are trying to stretch themselves to be part of this.
You know, you deal with the future generation, the children, and the vulnerable old age people. You deal with health issues. You deal with jobs. how do you decide, how did you end up with Vanadzor old age home? That's a very interesting area we're trying to explore today.
The
Uh,
question.
Now let's Garnik, Sean, I'm going to come to you in a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would delegate it to Sean because he was.
No, no.
But let me just say one thing, that FAR started its mission as a relief organization. Of course, in the course of the years, we became more involved in supporting the younger generation, empowering them, but we have never forgotten the roots of FAR. And Vanadzor Old Age Home is one of those roots. Sean will tell you that we inherited it from Aznavour Foundation. And I can tell you today, it's one of the important things that FAR is doing, because not only we provide shelter for about 60 elderly people, but I think Vanadzor Old Age Home sets the example of how you can dignify the life of elderly people who have no family, no home to go, nothing to be happy about. And you have to take care of them and make their life, the end of their life, is dignified. But the rest I will delegate it to Sean.
Sean, we heard about the Aznavour Foundation, but more importantly, as we discussed the Vanadzor Old Age Home, there is the Kevork and Sirvart Karamanuk Foundation, and you are the chairman of that foundation. And let me quickly say before you do that you are the nephew of Sirvat Karamanuk. So in a sense, the foundation is entrusted to you, and you decided to go with the old age home. And as Garnik said, give a dignified living to the old aged, vulnerable people. How was it a difficult decision as opposed to working with the children? Why did you go and put the energy in the old age home?
Varstan, hi. I am not the chairman of the old age home. I'm just an interested party. Because Sirvat Karamanuk was my aunt and Kevor, her husband, they started the whole thing because they have an extraordinary interest they had in older people. The Surpirgüç Hivantanots has an old age home. They reconstructed the whole thing, and it carries their name today. And when the communism collapsed, then Kevork decided that he wanted to have something similar to it in Armenia. And at that time, I asked Yeznik Balyan if he could find something, because I had enormous trust, I still do, to FAR. And I felt that FAR would be the right organization to put this thing together. And Yeznik found this old Soviet sanatorium, which had been helped by Aznavour Foundation starting in 1993, actually. And but their interest was not that intense. So Yeznik spoke with them, and we decided that we will take over the whole thing. And the Karamanuks established a charitable foundation, and until today, they support it. I mean, the money, the foundation supports the thing. And that's the real story. Today, it's 20 years that the old age home is established. And I think Garnik also is very excited that it lasted for so many years and it evolved towards the better for 20 years. And today, I think it's an enviable institution.
I was really impressed by Garnik's word dignified living, because I know there's a lot of renovation taking place in the old age home just to make the lives more comfortable, more clean, more accessible. Tell us about what is life like in the old age home, Sean.
It is truly incredible. I wanted to feel how it is to live there. So
Hmm.
I have gone there and spent 2 nights
Mhm.
at the old age home just to feel what it feels like to be a resident there. The only thing that bothered the hell out of me throughout the night was a dog that barked incessantly. I don't know why. It was just wonderful. Um, and, they have 3 square meals every day. The old age people. They're all over 75, not 75, 65. Chejaningas, Garnik, over 65. Yeah. And, there are a number, there are, for all those old people, there are 27 staff members who work. That's an incredible proportion. And the food is very, very good. And, whenever I go there to visit, which is often pre-pandemic, I used to go
Yeah.
at least twice a year. They would insist that they would prepare a special meal for me separate from the residents. I said, no, 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 that won't work. I want to eat the same thing that the old people are having. And it's delicious. I mean, the Hoharar, the chef, prepares very good balanced meal with the vegetables, with the protein. Sometimes the protein is grains, and sometimes it's meat or fish or what. There isn't that much fish, but it's meat and a lot of fresh vegetables. I mean, at one point, to entertain the old people, they were there's a river running alongside. The old age home is on top of a hill, and there was a river running, and they made a dam there so that the fish would get caught there, and the old people will catch fish, and they will make a meal or whatever it is. And then at one point also they were raising animals, the chicken and things like that. And there is even, believe it or not, I don't know whether it exists today, there was a coiffeur. So if old people wanted to have their hair fixed, they would go to the coiffeur
That's
rather than
dignified living. That's dignified living. Bravo.
yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a van that would take them down if they want to go to the town and have their hair done. Because although we take part of their toshak, that's the social security, let's say, we give them almost half of what they get from the government, so they can get candy and they can keep it or whatever they want to do. It's theirs.
If I may add something,
Sure.
you're talking about dignified living. Shahan was, after visiting once the Vanadzor old age home, he came back to me and said, listen, I'm going to send them the seeds. I want them to plant it so that they're better, nicer flowers in the premises of that. I mean, that's how that's how we, starting from Shahan, we think about beautifying the life of these people, to say nothing about the fact that they are frequently visited by younger children. And these younger children are students of FAR. FAR has many scholarship programs, and this is part of their civic education.
Beautiful.
When they go and mingle with them, and they like it. They just love it.
Gardik, Sean said he used to travel to Armenia more so. Over the pandemic period, many of our travel canceled and our lives changed. How has the pandemic very briefly affected FAR in terms of operations and or fundraising? Because every institution needs those funds.
Yeah, let me start with the fundraising. And I can tell you that the fundraising went up in these years. Just to give you an example, only in this year, in 2021, past year, we had about more than 600 completely new donors,
Really?
out of the blue, who gave significant amount of funds for FAR to do things there. As far as the work, certainly it disrupted some of the work that we're doing because of the traveling. For people had to be more careful, even though I can tell you almost 90% of our people's stuff went through the previous, not Omicron, but previous Delta COVID. Thanks God, we are okay. At this point, everybody is back to normal. But they found the modern operandi in terms of how to, for example, in the soup kitchens. We have 5 soup kitchens giving meals 5 days a week to about 1,000 people. There's no way we can disrupt that. So the way we did it, we instead of inviting them to come to the soup kitchen and have the meal there, we prepared the packages of dry food, and we would deliver, again, these young people, volunteers would deliver the food to them, or for those who can come and just pick up and go, did that one. The same thing happened with the children in the kindergarten that we were providing meals. We, during that period, just to give you an example, during that period, we served about 18,000 people with packages starting from food to hygienic supply and things like that. That's how flexible our people were during those times.
Sean, you sent me some pictures of the Vanadzor old age home, and in one of the pictures, you are seen shaking hands with an old man sitting next to you. And it was a very moving picture. Here you are, the benefactor, the chairman of the foundation, and there is the recipient. How does it feel? What goes in your mind when you get these blessings and thank yous from the vulnerable people?
You know, Vartan, I love to touch. I need to hug.
Yes.
So pre-pandemic, you know, I would always go and hug these people. And that picture was taken before then. And I think touching and hugging is the most direct way of communicating with a person in a very simple way. They care for me, and when I go there, they get all excited, and I get all excited because I can see that they are happy.
Sure.
I mean, you know, it's the best place that they can be. I mean, Garnik has done an incredible job, not just in Vanadzor, but all over, all over. And I mean, you know, I have so much admiration for Garnik, and it far was good from get-go, but now, you know, it is truly flourishing, and it's one of the very few diasporan institutions, organizations that does truly extraordinary work in Armenia.
Garnik, you're doing an extraordinary job in Armenia and in the diaspora. You have done your share. As I called you both your institutions, both of your institutions, because you have done so much. Garnik, in wrapping up today's short interview about Vanadzor Old Age Home and in general the work of FAR, what is your message to people listening to you?
If I may, the message would be this. I know that this is not a good time for us as Armenians. We have been traumatized in multiple ways, and many people could become desperate, could simply say, there's nothing I can do. But that's not the case. That's not the case. At the times like these, we need people to stand up and say their word. That word could be sending money to charity, volunteering for things, going to Armenia, supporting Armenians, many, many ways. This is the time to show for every Armenian that we care. We care about Armenia, we care about motherland, we care about church, we care about Artsakh. That's what I want to say.
Thank you very much. Sean, in wrapping up, closing your comments, please.
We will continue what we are doing with great control, because I feel that Armenia does need, in many practical ways, the help of the diasporan communities. I realize that sometimes they are not so happy with what we demand. I mean, I demand certain things. If I'm helping the Khachaturian House Museum, I demand that certain things are done in certain ways. Otherwise, I will not help it. I have to have my word in a reasonable way. So it is very important to get there and be involved. I think personal presence is extremely important. It is also very important to get to know the government people, I feel. You have to have a personal relationship with important people who are key in moving things this way or that way. If there is a personal relationship, then you have much more to control those situations, those moves, than if you don't have control. Um, they're very clever. They have Soviet kind of cleverness. And sometimes, you are not quite there on their level. You have to think ahead of time and see. But that way, Karnik has been very useful. If there is some strange thing that I don't know how to handle, I immediately call Karnik and ask him, what do you think about this thing? And he's always right and has a clever answer.
There are many things we need these days, definitely, but above all, everything, we need leaders like you, people who direct the community, people who can instill in the people pride and direction. The Israeli people wandered in the Sinai desert for 40 years, and the only way they came out of it was that when they decided they need a leader and be organized. And I think you should be competent, both of you, guarding Danagulin, especially leading far the Fund for Armenian Relief. Sean, you have done your share, and I'm not going to go into what you have done for the community and nation. So both of you, we all have to understand the message out is we need leadership also to direct these efforts. And I thank you very much for your time and your insight and your comments about this very important issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Vartan.